Don't worry, this video isn't some rant about which games console is the best. Each company has finally found its separate place in the gaming industry. While each is equally volatile, there seems to be some sort of agreement with what goes where. Xbox has taken shelter in Game Pass, giving away way too many games for anyone to play for a cheap but monthly price. PlayStation is focusing on power and high quality hardware, and Nintendo is just being Nintendo, releasing games and sometimes not, occasionally suing people with their overpowered lawyers. But what caused this shift? To begin with, the Wii U released on the 18th of November 2012 to an amazing review. Yeah, just one review, and that's about the only notable thing that happened during its life cycle, other than the release of Planes Fire and Rescue. This essentially removed Nintendo from the console wars, reducing the main three to just two. Although Nintendo completely contrasted the Wii U sales with the Switch, by the time they re-entered the mass market, the console wars had already reduced to near nothing. Sony and Microsoft, however, continued the battle through to the end of their generation. From about 2013 to 2017, you were either a PlayStation guy, an Xbox guy, or just a guy. Generation 8, the PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. It also features the Switch, but I'm not including that because it's too greedy for Nintendo to have two. I think the main reason for this hardcore competition during this time was the sheer amount of innovation and testing in the industry. While most of them can now be considered phases, some of them were actually pretty cool. Here are some examples which may bring back memories. Toys to life with Skylanders and Amiibo, just to name a few. Motion capture with things like Just Dance and face recognition on the PS4 for some reason. AR and even VR started to make appearances, though not fantastic yet. Exclusivity was also much more prominent a decade ago. Currently, most games are released either simultaneously with or with the plan of releasing a later PC port. However, in these times, if a game was created by one company, it would stay with them forever. This meant that not only would you be deciding the console you use to play your games on, but also the games that you would be playing. I would also say that the price affected the console wars in a minor way, though perhaps not quite as large as things like its library. The Xbox One stood at £430 or your original equivalent, while the PS4 was only £350. This meant that the PS4 not only had the ground of being cheaper, but it was also more powerful. These two factors meant that it was an easier sell to consumers, as if you didn't look any deeper than that, your console of choice would be blatantly clear. No specific event ended the console wars. It was a gradual and yet obvious shift. At the moment we now stand, Xbox has shared many of their first-party releases to both Sony and Nintendo. Indies and third-party developers frequently release games across all platforms, and crossplay has become somewhat frequent between online lobbies. Competition over who buys what will always be present, but instead of a war of directly winning as the best console, they now compete the same way two books would on the shelf of a bookstore.